Hey, Andrew here at SHOT 2020 with Bob Faxon of Faxon Firearms, and you got some exciting stuff here. This is looks like a pencil weight barrel.
It is.
With
integral comp.
Awesome.
That has a muzzle flash hider, and then we have the muzzle brakes here.
So it's not pinned and welded.
No.
This takes, I'm guessing, probably about a 14-inch barrel, 14 and a half.
It would replace your 14.5-inch barrel with an end device on it. But what's nice about this is it gives you that legal length of 16-inch, and you don't have a threaded device on the end.
Yeah.
And it also stays, if you noticed, Andrew, the 620 diameter here allows you to put your gas block over it, so you can have your legal length barrel without having to have a pin and welded situation, and you don't have the inability to build your own barrel.
So you can use more of the off-the-shelf gas blocks instead of just the handful of bolt-on.
Nope, absolutely. Use any gas block 625 diameter. So you can buy this barrel, put it in a rifle on a home build, and you'll get several things. You get the minimum legal length with the muzzle brake or the flash hider on it. You get the 625 diameter gas block with a 620 diameter muzzle device. So you can slide everything right over, build it, you can take it apart.
Nice.
Much better than having to build up a barrel and then weld on a device. And even on the devices where you weld on, we prefer not to because of the wall thickness of the barrel, etc.
Yeah.
So we started making the first ones, and then we figured out that if we could figure out how to make this integral, it would be a better product for the consumer. And that was ultimately our goal, was to make a better product. And now we've done that, so what you see, we have a full line, and we also include a 9mm version.
Okay.
So you can keep that minimum legal length without having to put an end device on it. So that's one of the newest things that we've brought out, is our full line of what we call integral muzzle device barrels. So that was our barrel achievement. And there's several of these, and then also, I'll give you something to play with there.
All right.
All right.
You know, I gotta have the busy fingers.
Yep. So what we have here is both the Hellfire and the Patriot. If you notice, the Patriot does not have the window cuts. It does not have a threaded muzzle, whereas the Hellfire does have the mag adapter, and it also has the threaded device, threaded barrel for a suppressor. So you've got your Hellfire and Patriot pistols. And what's neat about these, the barrels and the slides we make from bar stock and stainless steel square stock for the slide. We machine all that in-house. So that hookup that you have between, your lockup between the barrel and the upper slide, we make all the key components in-house for this pistol. Awesome. So they're available separately. We sell slides and we sell barrels. But we said, hey, why don't we build a whole pistol? So there are parts in this pistol. That's what's important about it. And you know, ever since we've started, we've been making barrels. That's the Overwatch.
Does this take Glock mags?
Yes, it does. And it takes Glock mags, and so does our new line of rifles that we brought out. We brought out a line of a couple of what we call that mid-level 9mm rifle and pistol, and we use the Glock magazines in them as well. And again, it's our manufactured product. It's our 9mm bolt carrier, our 9mm barrels, our uppers and lower receivers.
I'm gonna pause you for a second. That matters because there are a ton of firearm manufacturers, and some of them make a handful of the parts. Some of them don't make any of the parts. Some of the manufacturers really just assemble everybody else's parts into one device. The fact that you make a lot of parts in-house, that matters to a lot of users, that you're making the parts yourself.
I couldn't agree with you more, and that kind of is a segue to what I also wanted to show you. These are our intro, called First Line. This is our first line rifle and our first line pistol. This is meant to be in that value proposition of a first type rifle. I won't say low end, it's not, and it's not the cheapest, but it's a very competitive price range so that law enforcement, this is now an option for the price range for law enforcement. So when you look at these guns with the free float handguards, our components and barrels, we know where all the components in this gun came from, right?
Yeah.
Whereas when you buy an entry-level gun, in some cases, you're not sure where the barrel came from, the bolt came from, or the carrier came from. So in some cases, our parts we make for other people. But this is our gun, and it's in a very competitive price range. So Faxon Firearms has been working for ever since it started 8 years ago to build a very high quality value proposition for the consumer. And we just put our parts into this gun. So we've now gone from what I'd say a higher end ARAC, or a very lightweight sub 5 pound rifle. Now we've filled in that middle gap so that you can buy the pistols, the rifles, the 9mm, the 5.56s. We've got a full product line being announced here at SHOT Show. Very price competitive, but ultimately, the thing you need to know is that all those key components are from us.
Yeah.
And that to your point, you don't not know where your components came from when you buy a gun. And that's one of the things we really want to press. I'm glad you brought that up.
And there's a lot of companies out there that make cheap rifles, and there's a lot of companies out there that make very expensive rifles.
Yeah, there is.
And I like the terminology of an entry-level rifle. I am particular, myself, I'm interested in rifles that offer a really good balance of quality and price. Because I don't care how cheap it is if it doesn't run.
Yep.
I don't care how cheap it is if parts are out of spec and the mag well doesn't drop free, and
Now the things that we look at, we've always, since day one, we've always worked on the consumer experience. When you think about making a product, somebody reaches in their pocket, pays hard-earned money for a product that we made, first of all, it's flattering and humbling. But it also has a liability to it that when they go to the range and they shoot, whether they're shooting our product and somebody else shows up with someone else's, how do they feel when they leave the range? How did our product perform? How was it for recoil? How did it feel overall? Did they spend too much for it? Nobody wants to go home from the range when their buddy paid half as much and got twice as much gun.
Yeah.
So the nice thing about it is, and we've actually gotten some emails that showcase this comment, we feel that we have a very high value quality proposition. And what we don't want to do, and anybody can, is over leverage your brand. We're good, but there are limits to what that's worth.
Yeah.
So that's why this whole line of rifles came out. That's why we're selling them at this price point with these components. Cheap is not a word I've used so far in this interview. I don't like the word cheap.
You just did.
I did. You suckered me into it. Cheap is not what we're trying to achieve here.
I understand.
High value quality proposition, and that user experience when they buy our products, go to the range and come back, how do they feel when they're driving home? That's the most important thing. So we test, use, I make, break, shake, bake everything that we make. So when we go out, I hope, our goal is that when we design and build products and when we send them out, that guy or lady coming home from the range feels better after they've shot our product or after they've assembled our product than they did before.
Awesome.
And that means it will grow like we have been.
Awesome. Well, Bob, thank you for your time.
Thank you. I
for
appreciate
tolerating my crap.
Oh, no, it's perfect. It's great. No, I appreciate you bringing up good points.
Thank you guys for watching. We're going to be at a lot of booths. Stay tuned. I love you.
Thanks.